Hey, all you cool cats. Ready for a little fun? That's what I thought. Pop Talk, Scooby-Doo-Wah-Doo-Wah, Pop Talk. The fun never stops, you know. Pop Talk. If you're a nerd or a jock, run, don't just walk. Get ready to rock, you got Pop Talk.
Now, from Funko Hollywood, it's time for Pop Talk.
Hey everybody, it's your pal Funmaker Mike. Another edition of Pop Talk. Look who we have today. You know him from NSYNC, Lance Bass.
How's it going?
Hey, thanks so much for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Before we get started, just to let you know, you're gonna get to build your own pop today.
So much pressure.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Got a lot to live up to.
I don't even
There's
know
a
what
lot
to start with. Do I make one of myself? Do I make one of my kids? Like, what do I do?
There's no wrong answer. You can make two if you want.
Oh my goodness, you're
There's
too good to me. You're too good.
As you know, Funko is a collectibles company. Do you, Lance Bass, collect anything?
I used to collect a lot of Dr. Seuss things when I was younger. So I had a whole room dedicated to Dr. Seuss. I love his art, I love everything he's done. But now I don't really get into too much. Now I just raise kids. I collect kids. Wait, that doesn't sound good. No.
Well, the second question. We heard you had a room dedicated to Dr. Seuss.
No, you did not.
Yes.
No, it does not. Y'all really researched. I love it.
Did you sell it? Did you store it? Do you still keep it?
My mom has most of it.
All right.
So this is when I lived back in Mississippi. So I'm from Mississippi, and so I had a house there. That's where my Dr. Seuss room was. So my mom has tons of it still in her attic. All right, she's a collector right there. She collects everything.
Right.
Any single magazine that had NSYNC in it from 1995 to today, my mom has.
Oh, that's kind of
I'm
neat.
like, what are you going to do with this?
Yeah.
No.
All right, so obviously NSYNC created a lot of opportunities for you professionally, but now that you've gone from singer to actor to writer to director, was this like a natural progression basically?
Yeah, I loved entertainment. Even as a little kid, I loved being a ham on stage. Right. And I knew I loved singing and dancing and acting and all that, but I was actually going towards like science. I wanted to be an astronaut, so that was my path. My life path was to, become a space engineer, hopefully become an astronaut and fly to space one day. And then that all got derailed when I was 16, when I got a call from Justin Timberlake saying, hey, we're forming a band. There was no such thing as a boy band at that time. There was no word for it. I'm like, okay, I'll quit high school and join this group. Let's go. And that's where it all began.
And what was that like with, like at home? Were they all for it? Was everybody, go ahead and go? Or?
Not really. I didn't know that. I was so young and naive that I was thinking, well, of course, let's do this. Let's move to Orlando and start this group. Not knowing that my mother was so dead set against it. She did not want this to happen, but she never let me know that. Mm-hmm. And then we went to Orlando, met the guys, and then we sang together, and there was just this magical moment of this 5-part harmony, and we all kind of got goosebumps, and I think my mom was like, oh crap, here we go, we're not going home now.
All right, you were certified by both NASA and Russian space programs.
Mm-hmm. I was. Certified. Yes.
And almost went to space.
That was a random time in my life. First, I thought it was a joke. We were just taking a hiatus from NSYNC. We had never had a day off, and so we finally said, okay, we need 6 months to actually become a human being, and just enjoy, life. So right at the beginning of that 6 months, I get a call, and they're like, hey, we have this mission that we'd like you to go on to become the youngest person to ever fly to space. This company that was putting it on were in an AOL chat room, and they were just asking fans out there. They said, is there a young celebrity that you would like to see go to space? And everyone was typing in saying, Lance Bass, he wanted to be an astronaut. And so that's how I got chosen. The fans, put me up. And it was a week before my launch. My mission got scrapped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that super disappointing?
Yeah, it stung. It's, of course I would have loved to have flown. I had all my experiments I was doing. I was going to live on the ISS for 10 days, so I had been working on this mission for several months. I know what it would have been like, but to being able to do that actually on the ISS in 0G would have been really amazing.
God, you weren't scared or anything?
No. When you're in training, you realize how safe it is. I mean, because you have hundreds of people watching your every second of your mission. So if anything goes wrong, you know exactly what to do at every minute of your mission.
Yeah.
So once you've done that several times, you feel very, very safe. Safer than driving a car.
Right.
Yeah.
You've done some voice acting.
Yeah, there's two things besides NSYNC that I get stopped on the street for, and it's Zoolander and the voice of Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Like, people freak out about Sephiroth. I kind of got fired from playing Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Because once people found out it was Lance Bassam in Sync, a lot of the fans were just pissed. They're like, why would you choose a boy bander to have the hardest character in Final Fantasy? And so, yeah, they fired me for the next version.
Wow.
This is really hard to decide, by the way. I mean, I'm still at a head. I'm still at a head. Okay.
How about this one? Did being in a boy band present obstacles for you as you progressed, with your other interests? Like, were you always labeled in a way?
Yeah, great
like
question.
We just, yeah.
Yeah, great question. You do, because I have so many passions,
Right.
That I want to do in life. When I finished with NSYNC, I was over music. I was just burnt out from the music industry, and it's a hard one, especially as a teenager. But I love writing and I love creating, especially film and television. That's where my love is. And so I immediately went into producing film and television and writing for that. And it was completely like starting over in a new career. No one in film and television wanted to see me do anything in that industry because I'm music. Why would I do anything but music? So you're always, typecast as that 18-year-old boy bander, musician. So yeah, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of your passions that kind of get stifled a little bit just because people know you as being something else so much, which,
I hear you.
I get it.
I mean, I can totally relate being the Funko founder. I've always thought I was going to work in Thunder Down Under.
Oh yeah,
And then-
well, yeah. Well, there's still time. There is still time.
They just want me to be the Funko founder. So, the NSYNC, One Direction, Backstreet Boys, how the influence that had now on K-pop.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's great. K-pop is so much fun. At the beginning, it was so new that you didn't know what this was or like, is this gonna work? I was like, this is interesting, but will it work here in America? But it blew up, and it is so fun. And now I'm huge fans of a lot of those groups, especially Blackpink. I think is just phenomenal because they perform. And I think one thing that you can tell with K-pop that was so influenced from the boy bands, of my era, was just the performance element. They dance their butts off and they just put on a great show. And when I want to go to a concert, I want to see a show. I don't want to see someone just sitting there singing. Like I can hear the record, for that. I want to be entertained.
Like, what's the best live show you ever remember seeing, like from a theatrical kind of standpoint?
Gosh, there's so many. Garth Brooks for sure. I mean, him and Reba McEntire live, just incredible. And especially in the mid '90s when no one was really doing that. Harry Styles is actually very entertaining. And when I saw him a few years ago, like one of the Jingle Ball radio shows, I was thinking, okay, he's just a solo artist. Like I know they don't dance, so I'm like, how entertaining can this be?
Yeah.
He knows how to command that stage. It is very, very entertaining. It's like I'm watching, a Rolling Stone concert. So I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of cool outfits too.
Oh yes, no, yeah. I don't know if I could pull that off, but yeah, good for him.
What's your favorite country outside of the U.S.?
I mean, I do love my Australia. There's something about Australia that I just love. I feel like that's my people. But then there was a place that we would always go to when we lived in Germany, a country called Liechtenstein. And to me, it was the most relaxed I've ever been. And being in such a business that you're always just so crazy and you never sleep, when I got to Liechtenstein, I was able to breathe for the first time. And it's just this beautiful country, not many people, mountains and river going through it, and a castle with a prince that kind of reigns. It's just like a fairy tale.
What do you think about social media and how it's evolved and in the pop music world now?
Yeah.
Like, what's your take on that?
Well, there's the good and bad with social media.
Right.
I try to see all the positives of it because it brings everyone together so quickly. Back in my day, when you had a single come out, you would have to go to every radio station around the world. You'd have to be there. You'd have to physically go to these places. So it would take you months to promote one song. I mean, and that's why you would only release 1, 2, 3 singles from one album. Now, because of social media and you just get that instant gratification, you're like, here's my song to these millions of people, and you immediately get it that day. And so you can promote so many more songs off of an album. It just goes quicker.
Right.
So I'm hoping things like social media that make your life a little easier in at least the promotion area. You don't have to travel as much, go to all these different cities, that you can take that time to really take care of yourself.
Did you ever get to the point where you were just like, I don't want to see anybody, I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't want to do any more shows, I don't even want to, see the guys in the band, I just want to be left alone? Or...
No, I never got to that point yet. I still loved every minute of it. I just loved being with those guys. Being on stage was my favorite thing ever with those 4 guys. We had a blast. It was, we were kids, and to be able to do something like that at such a young age, I say that was our college years. When all my friends, went to university and, started their careers, this was our university, just be living in the world and starting this career. So, I had to learn everything I learned, on the road from my 4 new best friends.
Is there anything you're working on now you wanted to share it all with us?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this story that I've been trying to bring to life for 15 years is called the Bedtime Stories of the Ingleside Inn. And it's this true story about this little boutique hotel in Palm Springs. And it is fascinating how this hotel got started. Mel Haber, who bought this hotel, knew nothing about running a hotel. So Jason Alexander plays him, and we got just a cast of the most incredible, iconic comedians in this show. But we're starting it out as a podcast first, so that'll launch sometime this spring. We're just finishing up those episodes now. And then the iHeart one I'm doing is about a cosmonaut, a true story about this cosmonaut that got left in space when communism fell. And it's just a story that many, especially Americans, have never heard before.
So it's a true story?
True story.
He just got left there?
Yeah. Well, he got to decide, but yeah, you'll see when you listen to the podcast,
Jeez.
It's just a fascinating
Can you
story.
just tell me what happened now?
I can't tell you.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for rapid fire fun.
Okay, let's do this.
All right, here we go. What was your favorite cartoon growing up as a kid?
Ren and Stimpy.
Okay. What's the first music you ever bought with your own money?
Fleetwood Mac.
Was it, Rumors or?
Yeah, it had to have been, yeah.
All-time favorite song?
Oh my gosh. I love Iris by Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah, that would be up there.
Okay. All-time favorite video game?
Super Mario 3. I could beat Super Mario 3 in probably 12 minutes. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I was obsessed with it.
Hey, what one country that you haven't traveled to that you really have thought about and want to go to?
I mean, I've never been to Bali, and that looks just great in pictures. So yeah, I'd like to vacation there.
First car?
It was a Buick Century, a white Buick Century that, yeah, had a cracked tail light, and I taped it over with a red tape so that it looked like it wasn't cracked.
Favorite breakfast cereal growing up?
There's too many. I liked my Fruity Pebbles. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Fruity Pebbles.
Favorite all-time movie?
Clue. Yeah, that's just the ultimate.
What's your favorite all-time rock band?
I like Aerosmith and Silverchair are probably my top 2 bands of all time.
Well, as you know, we make a lot of these pops, and NSYNC has been popped a couple of different times, a couple of different ways.
Yes, we have. Oh, there he is, yeah.
Oh, there you are. Have you actually seen our Pop Deluxe of the whole band?
Not in person.
There it is.
No, I mean, because, obviously we get emails on this all the time, so we saw the renderings of it, but I have not seen it in person. Fun.
Well, there you go. We want you to have this very first one. This is the
thanks.
very first one.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, well, this is going in my kids' nursery for sure. Yay. Well, thank you, that is awesome.
So let's see what you built.
Okay, so, I like blue hair. It's kind of my thing. Every once in a while I go blue, so I had to do that. And then I kind of like pretending I'm a lumberjack. So Here we go.
What does it feel like being popped and seeing yourself as a pop?
I mean, it's great. to be immortalized, you know, into a Funko Pop is just special because I guess it keeps you young forever. This will be remembered for a long time. My kids, my grandkids will see this, and I think this makes you last forever, you know, in pop culture. So it's fun before I get old and gray.
Well, Lance, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Of course.
We should go out and you should shop the store, have some fun.
All right, I will.
All right, thank you so much, my friend.
So nice to meet you, definitely.
Well, there you have it, folks. Wrap up another edition of Pop Talk with Lance Bass.